Um, yeah, let's talk about Zoro kills Kaido, because this is something which has been a topic of discussion for a really long time now, especially since we arrived on Wano and especially since Zoro got Enma. It has been a very big point of discussion that Zoro is possibly going to be the person who is actually going to kill Kaido. Obviously, in the last couple of chapters, we saw how Zoro used his biggest move so far in the form of Ashura, but he was not successful in that particular endeavor. And it seems like the Zoro kills Kaido theory is almost dead, but I feel like there is more to this. Now, before all of that, before I jump into the Zoro kills Kaido bandwagon, or I give you all my thoughts, let me tell you all that I'm not personally a Zoro stan. I almost love all the Straw Hats equally. I do not have a tier list for liking Nami more than Robin or liking Chopper more than Usopp. I don't really have that sort of a thing. I generally like all the Straw Hats equally, mostly equally. And if you are going to ask my ideal scenario, or rather like a expectation versus reality sort of thing, I would have personally really loved to see the entire Straw Hat crew standing up to in front of Kaido. Basically, think about the scene from the Dreaming on OP where Kaido is in his dragon form and all the Straw Hat crews are just surrounding him. I would have personally really loved to see actually something like that in the actual show, in the actual manga. It doesn't really seem plausible at this particular moment, but throughout the entire series, we have. Hold on. Yeah, so throughout the entire series, we have seen these jigsaw puzzle like things which have been taking place for a while now, like where every Straw Hat member has their own separate fights, which eventually leads up to Luffy facing off against the final opponent. But this time around, since we were in Wano, I personally expected, like before reaching Wano, I personally wanted to see a scenario where all the single Straw Hat members are standing up in front of Kaido for a one final moment. Like every one of them are doing their individual stuff to eventually take down Kaido. I'm not saying that Nami or Usopp or Chopper have to do the final blow, but they will contribute in the actual battle against Kaido himself, not just say King, Queen, or any of the other characters. Say, for example, Usopp could be using his final version of Firebird Star, new version of Firebird Star, which is going to heat up the entire environment. Then Nami is possibly going to use the Fuse version of Zeus to use a huge thundercloud. Then similarly, every other Straw Hat is going to use their move, and this will involve a sort of full mechanism for the entire Straw Hat crew. So that is my ideal scenario. This is just to showcase that I'm not really a Zoro fanboy, but in spite of all of that, I do believe that there's a high chance that Zoro is actually going to do something very big in the final battle. I do believe that the final contention is going to be between Kaido, Luffy, and Zoro. And there are clues to this, obviously, since the very starting of the series, because number one, Zoro is the first Straw Hat member after Luffy. Luffy in what should I say? Brought him into the Straw Hats for the very first time. Like, he's the first member. He's the de facto vice captain. Like, he's the unofficial vice captain of the Straw Hats. He's the second in command and possibly the second most powerful member after Luffy. And he's the person other than Luffy who has actually shown interest to kill Kaido. He's the only person other than Luffy who has shown actual interest to kill Kaido. So I don't believe that there is necessarily a wrong contention to think that Zoro might be the one who is going to help at least in the final battle. I'm not subscribing to the theory of Zoro kills Kaido. I don't think Zoro is going to be the person who is going to give the last blow, but I just believe that he's going to definitely contribute to this entire thing. Moreover, there are certain parallels to it, especially how Luffy first met Zoro while he came to Wano. He like in a very similar parallel to all the way back on Romance Dawn. Then at the same time, currently, at least as of chapter 1019, both of them, that is both Zoro and Luffy, are recovering. Zoro has taken the medicine from the Ming's doctors, and Luffy is recovering on the submarine of Law. He's asking for meat, and on the other side, like we saw, milk and all this stuff. So both of these characters were taken down one time. Now they have grave injuries and now they are recovering. So, sort of, I don't just necessarily want to believe that Zoro is going to contribute to the fight against Sanji versus Queen and maybe King into the place as well. There are other characters. There are other characters like Marco. And I do believe that there are certain other characters who might also pop up into the scene, which we have not seen so far. I'm probably going to make a other video as to who are the other characters who might eventually land up on Wano before the final battle. We have that mystery silhouette of possibly Hiyori or someone else who is the person who healed the scabbards. But that's a topic of discussion for another day. For now, I just want to say that there is enough precedence to believe, especially as of chapter 1019, that Zoro is going to stand up once again, and he's not just going to face off against King or Queen, but rather he's going to move up to the rooftop or maybe whatever, like it can be upon the capital of Wano as well, because Onigashima is now about to come down on the mainland as well. So wherever it might be, wherever the final battle is going to be, I think that Zoro and Luffy are once again going to team up. Kid and Law are obviously going to be busy with Big Mom. She's another Yonko, so there's no reason for us to think that they're going to easily defeat her. But I do believe that on this particular side of things, Luffy needs the assistance of Zoro, and that is one of the major reasons why Enma also comes into the place. Because let's be real, it is the sword of Odin, and I know Amino Habakiri could be involved into Orochi, but I don't really know how that plot point might get resolved. But for now, I do believe that Zoro, at least he will not kill Kaido. Let's be real about it. ZKK is too much going deep into fandom, like standing Zoro. But I do believe that there's enough precedence to believe that Zoro might team up with Luffy for one second time, like for another time, in order to finally take down Kaido. It sort of is going to become like another thriller bark like moment where he's going to take up the pain of Luffy, not because of the powers of Bartholomew Kuma, but like a literal sense that he's going to divide the pain with Luffy. And since both of them are recovering at this very moment, there's a very high chance to believe that both of them will get up once again and finally face off against Kaido. So yeah, these are my thoughts upon the Zoro kills Kaido bandwagon once again. Is it actually possible or not? So do let me know your thoughts about this particular topic, whether you believe it's going to happen or not.